being easy to be around rarely begins as a fixed identity. It develops gradually through paying attention to what keeps interactions smooth, what avoids tension, what leads to approval, and adjusting yourself in small ways until those adjustments become automatic and no longer require effort. It can feel like awareness at first because reading people well, anticipating reactions, and responding in a way that keeps situations comfortable allows you to move through life without unnecessary friction. And that ability can genuinely be useful in many environments. Over time, the direction of that awareness begins to change, since responses start to form less from what you actually think or feel, and more from what will be received well, which means tone is adjusted before thoughts are fully clear and reactions are shaped in advance, creating a version of you that is consistently aligned with external expectations rather than internal accuracy. This pattern reinforces itself through repetition, because the easier you are to be around, the more that becomes expected. And the more it is expected, the more consistent your adjustments become, until people are interacting with a version of you that has already been filtered before it ever reaches them. There is rarely a clear moment where something feels wrong, yet a distance begins to form between what you experience and what you express. And that distance gradually turns into a form of self-separation, where your own reactions are still present, but are no longer fully accessible in real time. At that point, it becomes something others recognize as your personality, since you are seen as agreeable, steady, and easy to be with, even though much of that ease is maintained through continuous internal management and careful regulation of how you show up in order to keep interactions predictable and comfortable. Changing this pattern does not require becoming reactive or creating unnecessary conflict, because the shift begins much earlier, in the moment you notice yourself editing a response before you have fully understood what you actually think, and allowing that initial reaction to exist, even privately, starts to rebuild a more direct connection with your own perspective. As that connection strengthens, your interactions begin to change in a way that still includes awareness and consideration, yet no longer uses them to override your own thinking, which allows what you say to come from a place that feels more direct and creates a steadiness that does not depend on constant self-adjustment. Being easy to be around is not the problem, yet it becomes limiting when it replaces your ability to experience yourself honestly and respond from that place. And recognizing that distinction allows you to remain thoughtful while staying connected to your own internal state.